Yes, guys. So we will exchange pleasantries a little later in our session, and I will brief you about myself and things. For now, I just want to jump into the thing because we just have 1 week, 5 days, and before you know, we will be closing. Yeah. So when you will go on your OMA, you are going to find all the information is there, how I'm going to evaluate you and stuff, what you need to do session by session and so on. So please find some time to read it, but I will also go through it, but I said a little later in the session. So in that OMA, OMA, your OMA, there is, in the information I have posted, there is a link for the website. Yeah. So that is the website where I will be posting all of the information which is required for the course, and I won't be posting directly into the OMA platform. So what I'm trying to say is that just read that those instructions, those suggestions on your OMA platform very carefully and follow them, please. So when you will click on the link, my website, this is what you will see, what you are seeing now on your screen. So pretty straightforward format of the website, very simple, nothing difficult to understand. It is just links are there and they are interactive. So for example, this first link is course outline, and when you are going to click on this link, this will open up, yeah, as you are seeing on the screen. Yeah. So you just need to read a little bit about it. Professor Anti already established that this is a really important topic for us, role of technologies in business, and then artificial intelligence and a couple of other technologies also we would like to talk about depending on how much time we have. So you're going to just read the course overview, what it is about, and so on. And if there is any question, you can always email me and stuff like that. We can talk about that. But I want to go in the lectures now. So the second link, which is lectures, when you will click on this is what is going to open. Yeah. So we are going to go through these things during our interaction. So I'm starting with AI for everyone, master the basics. So yes, there are different people coming from different backgrounds in our session, but as you know, that it is essentially it is an introductory type of course, and later on in the week I will be sharing some examples how businesses are using AI to improve, and those are some of the things which would help you to establish way forward for your career and give you some ideas what is happening in that field and so on. But for now, we want to start from some basics. Yeah. So when you are going to click on, is going to open. Yeah. So what is the format like? Is more of an interaction, participation. So it is not one way communication that I will be coming and I will be speaking. It is you will be evaluated on your participation in this forum and also through emails and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to maybe show clips, and then we will have discussions, and then we will exchange ideas and so on. So that is essentially the format of our interaction for the week. So I'm starting with this idea. Before we start, should we be afraid of AI or should we give it a hype? Yeah. So this is a question which I'm asking you, and please reflect in your own space. Uh, so first thing, should we be afraid of AI, artificial intelligence? Like, there are different sentiments you would be hearing from different people. Some people are saying artificial intelligence and these type of technologies are going to take over, and people are going to lose their jobs and stuff like that. Although that is correct, but as you will lose jobs because of advancement in technologies, new jobs are also going to open. And by the end of the week, you will understand and you will know that the number of new jobs produced according to predictions and forecast are twice as much as the jobs which will become redundant. So if 5 jobs are becoming redundant, 10 new jobs are coming in. If 100 jobs are being redundant, 200 new jobs, new things are happening. Yeah. Should we be afraid of AI or not? This is something which you need to think about based on your circumstances, environment, your your way of thinking and stuff like that. You need to develop your own insight into these questions. As a matter of fact, be like to 200%. No one really knows. It is just predictions, and people are making different type of predictions. So in your own time, I want you to watch this clip. Should we be afraid of AI? Think about it, and reflect on that. Or should we give it a hype? Yeah. So this second clip, AI hype, the psychology behind it. I'm in touch with this person also, and I've asked them to come in our session also as guest speaker. Let's see if they can arrange some time. They are in giving some talks in China or something like that right now as we are speaking. So AI hype, this clip, when you will see, this is very balanced approach. So in AI and various technologies, you will see that some people are saying that AI is going to take over and the movies, the type of movies we watch and stuff like that. On the other hand, some people are saying that this is just a farce, and even if it comes, it is not going to come in 50 years, 60 years, something. So both people who argue both sides, people who argue both sides, they have their own point of views, and both sides are smart people. So for example, Elon Musk, you are familiar with the guy, the Tesla guy, Honorable Elon. He has his own way of talking about AI. Please run a Google search. Just type Elon Musk, artificial intelligence, see what he says. On the other hand, you can pick some other top guy like Mark Zuckerberg, Honorable Mark from Facebook. He has his own way of thinking about artificial intelligence. Both guys are smart, very smart, but their ideology and the way they are talking about AI is very different. So you need the second clip, the AI hype. This will help you to balance your point of view. So what I'm trying to say is that always listen to the other side, especially in, well, you should do it in all circumstances in life, but especially in artificial intelligence, because of the dynamic nature of this field. What is not possible a month and coming in and stuff like that. So you need this. Both clips are going to help you to create some balanced point of view, which is very necessary. So please do that in your own time. So we will start with module 1. So basic things: what is AI, application, examples, and stuff like that. When you will click, all links are interactive, as I explained you earlier. So you can also play with the website as I am talking. So when you will click this, this is going to open. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with playing a clip. The clips are short. All the clips which I'm going to play in session, they are going to like 3 to 5 minutes. Please watch the clip very carefully. I'm going to then start some discussion. We will have some conversation, and that is essentially the format of our discussions. Yes. So when I'm playing, sometimes the quality of the voice is not as good because you are hearing through internet. So what you can do is you can open the website yourself and play the links, play the clips yourself in your browser from your side. Yeah. So this is where we are. Some friends are coming in a little late. No problem. You have not missed anything. On your OMA website, there is my personal website. Please click on that link. When you will click, this is going to open. So all links are interactive. The first one was course outline. Please click it and read. Second one is lectures. Please click on that. When you will click on that, click the first link, AI for everyone, master the basics. And then you are clicking module 1, and then we will see if we can continue with module 2 also. Yeah, so click on module 1, and this is where we are introducing AI. So let's do this.
At IBM, we define AI as anything that makes machines act more intelligently. We like to think of AI as augmented intelligence. We believe that AI should not attempt to replace human experts, but rather extend human capabilities and accomplish tasks that neither humans nor machines could do on their own. The internet has given us access to more information faster. Distributed computing and IoT have led to massive amounts of data, and social networking has encouraged most of that data to be unstructured. With augmented intelligence, we are putting information that subject matter experts need at their fingertips and backing it with evidence so they can make informed decisions. We want experts to scale their capabilities and let the machines do the time-consuming work. How do we define intelligence? Human beings have innate intelligence, defined as intelligence that governs every activity in our body. This intelligence is what causes an oak tree to grow out of a little seed and an elephant to form from a single-celled organism. How does AI learn? The only innate intelligence machines have is what we give them. We provide machines the ability to examine examples and create machine learning models based on the inputs and desired outputs. And we do this in different ways, such as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning, about which you will learn in more detail in subsequent lessons. Based on strength, breadth, and application, AI can be described in different ways. Weak or narrow AI is AI that is applied to a specific domain. For example, language translators, virtual assistants, self-driving cars, AI-powered web searches, recommendation engines, and intelligent spam filters. Applied AI can perform specific tasks but not learn new ones, making decisions based on programmed algorithms and training data. Strong AI, or generalized AI, is AI that can interact and operate a wide variety of independent and unrelated tasks. It can learn new tasks to solve new problems, and it does this by teaching itself new strategies. Generalized intelligence is the combination of many AI strategies that learn from experience and can perform at a human level of intelligence. Super AI, or conscious AI, is AI with human-level consciousness, which would require it to be self-aware. Because we are not yet able to adequately define what consciousness is, it's unlikely that we will be able to create a conscious AI in the near future. AI is the fusion of many fields of study. Computer science and electrical engineering determine how AI is implemented in software and hardware. Mathematics and statistics determine viable models and measure performance. Because AI is modeled on how we believe the brain works, psychology and linguistics play an essential role in understanding how AI might work, and philosophy provides guidance on intelligence and ethical considerations. While the science fiction version of AI may be a distant possibility, we already see more and more AI involved in the decisions we make every day. Over the years, AI has proven to be useful in different domains, impacting the lives of people and our society in meaningful ways.
Excellent. So you guys just watched a basic introductory clip on what is AI. So let me start by asking a question. What is your understanding of AI? What did you maybe learn in this clip? What are some of the things which they are talking about in this clip? Anything you want to say, it is good time to start talking about that. And if you have read your OMA, the reading on the instruction on OMA, class participation is essential for this type of course. Please don't worry. Say what you have to say. If you can also turn on your cameras, it helps me to engage you guys, because otherwise I'm just looking at my in my camera. So please see if you can turn on the cameras, turn on your mic, speak. There is a raise hand feature also in the middle. If you If you want to, if you want to, if you want to raise hand, you can do that. Otherwise, feel free to just. It's a small session, so just say what you have to say. So, essential question is what is AI? You watched the clip a while ago. What do you take from that? And please go ahead.
I think AI is some kind of intelligence to give the machine so that we can easily work through them, and our life will be much more easier. And if we intelligently program AI, I think then the rogue AI will never happen. So it's depend on how we program it. So it's all our hands. So we should not be afraid of, because if we program this and we use this without like this kind of serious thing like war or other things, then I think like World War III or this kind of thing will never happen. So we can use this as a like service sector or like service to our people or health. Then it will be very good idea, I guess.
Excellent point. And what a beautiful thoughts our friend has shared with us. He started by saying that it is going to make our life easier. So he's taking AI just as a tool, which just like we have so many tools, and he's saying that it is going to make our life easier. That was the one key point. And then later on, he mentioned that it is very much in our hands. That is his point of view. You don't have to agree with that. Maybe you have some different point of view, and that is the beauty of this type of interaction, because some people can think that what about if AI starts learning on its own. And that debate is there, although we are years behind that debate. But this is how things evolve. There was a time when people would say that you won't be able to fly, but see, now airplanes are there, and there are so many other things. Okay, I think Professor Anti is trying to leave us. We would like if he would stay, but we understand that he had a busy day. So thank you very much, Prof, for stopping by. We appreciate it. Okay, so there was time, when all these advancement, even this technology which we are using. I am talking from Jamaica. You are listening in Finland and all other parts of the world, wherever you are coming from. This thing was not possible. Let's go back 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. People would say that how that is going to possible. If someone 50 years ago said that someone is going to whisper in Jamaica, and you are going to hear that whisper in Finland, what people would have said 50 years ago, 60 years ago? They would have said, this guy has lost his mind. Definitely. Yeah, so same way. So but I'm taking the point which our friend has made, that it is very much on us how we program it, at least for now. So he has given us good thought on that. But whatever I am going to say or you are going to say, no, nothing is binding. Feel free to express your own opinion on this. That is I think what you should be doing. Yes, next one, please go ahead.
I'm still a bit like suspicious, because I think that nowadays the narrow AI is very, very popular. The general one is becoming more popular, but I don't think the super AI is here yet. And I just think that like the super one AI can be a risk. I mean, the narrow and general, I think they has been helping a human a lot, and I think they're very safe. But I'm not so sure about the super AI.
Definitely, thanks. Definitely for now, super AI is not there. But what I'm trying to say is that let's go back years ago. Would people say that narrow AI is possible? Maybe not. Let's go back in years. Now, because we are using narrow AI, and what is narrow AI? Self-driving cars. Self-driving cars. Imagine that is quite an advancement in the field of transportation. Yeah. So that is under narrow AI. But in the future, things can happen. But I'm not trying to create any hype. Of course, there are so many hurdles which we need to get over, as I explained earlier before we go into super AI. So thanks for that comment. What the one word I really liked, and I would like to talk about it. The Tang used this word, risk. Actually, the game is about risk management in technologies. And with that, I am going to, although this is technologies, but let's look at something softer. So, for example, ethical issues, moral issues, all of those things are some things which are falling under risk assessments. And the challenge is that different countries are looking at risks very differently. If you look at how Europe is advancing in AI and doing the things, it is very different than how, let's say, China is advancing on AI. And then you compare it with USA. Yeah, so when you are looking at AI literature, they are talking about these three different geographic locations. Europe, they are talking about how, so in Europe they are taking time, they want to do legislations and formulate things and stuff like that. In a country like China, because of their government style, which is wonderful, and I have no problem with that, but in these discussions sometimes people have these discussions that China, for example, they are doing this, is it right, is it wrong, what is that? But it's quite complex situations. And later on, in maybe in this third session, fourth session, I'm going to show you some readings and stuff like that, which would help you to understand that what China is doing and how they are advancing. As a matter of fact, it is not that wrong, especially if you are looking ahead 50 years, even 100 years from now, next century, what would be the challenges of that? Uh, so very good. This point, risk. Please make note of that. How to so link it with the earlier discussion. So Abu said that easier and how we program, making it easier and how we program. And as we are making incorporating technologies to make life easier, what we would need to do is manage the risk. It is not about not using AI or shunning AI or getting afraid of it or not learning these technologies. It is about incorporating them, but looking at the risk factor as Thang explained us. A very good, excellent start. Yes, next one, please. Barnes, I think we cannot hear you, so please see.
I think you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you just go unmute yourself, maybe? Can you hear me now?
A bit better, but not so clear.
So
Okay,
Barnes,
how about now?
you would have to speak louder, just like I'm speaking louder. So please see if you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
so to me, that topic is sort of, we try to divide technology and biology a little bit, but to me, it's just a part of the planet evolution. And I think that if we think about different, if we imagine life in different forms, in different galaxies, I think this is natural way of developing. And the fact that we talk about transistors, or we would talk about biology based on water, it doesn't really matter. It's more about an information that is analyzed by any kind of object, any sort of made of any kind of material, and absorbing that information and analyzing. And from the biology, we can see that the simpler objects build more advanced ones. So I think that the whole debate about AI, it's really good. It's something that human mind need to challenge, but I think it's inevitable. And when I think about AI in a short way, I see the smart cities. I see cars which are sorts of public transport which arrive to every single person on time. They are not blocking the roads. They are not on the parking spots. And this is very functional advantage. But the scale that we saw on the video, that was interesting. Actually, I thought that the third one will be a big question mark, an AI that we don't really even understand, because we have tendency to be in the center of galaxy, and we think so, and we would like to be on this higher level. But I think there are many levels ahead that we are not even aware of. So I think if this AI has tendency to respect us because we created it, we might have a chance to have a good life, better than we would organize it. But I've been watching my my very close child who was developing, and I was actually thinking about it, that this little boy, in 20 years, maybe he will have some kind of understanding and empathy that adults have. But now when he's learning, the process is very chaotic. And if the AI will learn the same way as child is hitting hands over a table when something is not right, the AI can have the same reaction and just smash everything. I mean, it might not develop, even though million years can happen in 1 hour in the AI life. But who knows what happened between second 3 and 5? What does it think at that moment? So it's a little bit like philosophical maybe thinking, but in a short way, I think we can have many jobs, and I think in a Noah Harari book, Homo Deus, he's really putting good points about AI, and he's pointing the jobs that will extinct in 20 years, but there will be more jobs also coming, and this has been always in the history. Yeah, that's my opinion about that.
Excellent points, Barnes. Excellent. Thanks for that. And I understand that people from different backgrounds and different earlier knowledge of AI are coming. But I'm sure that there are friends sitting in our session who are just starting this out. So please don't worry about, don't worry about that if some things are being said which you are not getting your mind around. But these questions which Barnes has stated in the earlier session, first I want to thank Barnes, because we need to think about these things. These are really serious, challenging issues, especially younger friends in our session who are going to think about their careers, who are in their bachelors or something like that. Because by the time you are graduating, what type of skills would be required for you to really be useful member of smart cities and other things which Barnes is talking about. One basic thing I want to take from, very basic thing. Barnes spoke about analytics, analyzing. Yeah, that I think all of us should get hang of. Data analysis is something which I personally think you can have your own point of view. Nothing is wrong in that. If you don't agree with anything which I say, I think that is good and that is healthy. That is how it should be. People should come up with different ideas and stuff. But the way I am looking at it, data analysis is something in which you cannot go wrong. So please try to develop some understanding of how to analyze different types of data. And in the introductory clip which you guys watched a while ago, they were talking about, for example, structured, unstructured data, deep learning. We will be talking maybe briefly about it later on in the week. All of those things, image data, how to look at those type of things. I think that is very, very important. But start with basics. I don't know what is your understanding of different simple tools, because I think, personally speaking, that Excel, many people are not 100% proficient in even Excel. Yeah, so even these simple tools, if you can get good hang of that, a lot of data analysis you can you can do in that. Some interest in mathematics is going to be essential. You like it or you don't like it. Some interest in statistics is going to be critical in the future. Even if AI is not coming, forget about AI, forget about super AI and all those things. Even for simple jobs, like for example, I'm looking at these advertisements for marketing, entry level jobs in good companies. Marketing. So marketing, what marketing has to do with mathematics and statistics? Someone would say nothing. But the way the future of marketing is, they are asking you for key skills in statistics. Your ability to use statistical software, because now marketing, the whole game of marketing has changed. So please, as Baron explained us many things, he raised many questions in your own time. Please reflect on that. But I wanted to just say that because he used the term uh, analytics, I think all of us should, at whatever we can do, you don't have to get very advanced if that is not your thing, but at least basic understanding, basic modeling, regression, correlation, these type of things, all of us need to understand. And because of the disruption with internet, these things are not hard to really understand. You can self teach yourself if you are interested. One more thing I want to talk about what Barnes said. He spoke about learning, how a child learns. Yeah, that was very clever example. Please reflect on that. How very nice example. How a child, look, observe any child. He's just, hit and try, generally speaking. Yes, parents, guardians, elders are there to support and they are telling, don't do this, do this. But a child is not like that. He needs to experiment and he needs to find his own way and whatever, generally speaking. So AI, he's raising question that how AI is going to learn. And as I'm talking about learn, I'm reflecting that what is learning? Please reflect on that. What is learning? Are we learning? Are we learning right now? If I ask you. So some people might say, yes, we are learning. But if you go deep into that, we are not learning right now. We are exchanging information. We are exchanging ideas. That is not learning. Yeah. What is learning is, please mute your mics when you are not speaking. Only turn on your mics when you are speaking, and don't keep your hand raised if you have spoken already. These are basic things which you should follow yourself. Yeah. So learning. Yeah. I lost train of my thought. Yes. Next one, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really hello everyone. I'm really enjoying the conversation. I think it's a great thing, and we have two angles here. So one is very philosophical, which is how do we see this thing? Do we see it as a threat? And the other one is it something that we can really learn from in terms of what kind of skills we can develop? So once we graduate, then we can have a better chance of landing a great job. And if we talk about the first one, which is philosophical, so people say that AI is supposedly doing or making our lives better. It's the case, indeed. Think about smartphones, for example, which we didn't have maybe 20 years ago, and now we can't really imagine ourselves not having one. I mean, look, everyone has this thing in front of them. You can hardly imagine not having it, not being able to respond to all those emails and whatever WhatsApp messages. Is it a threat? For many, yes. I mean, a lot of people get so engaged with their phones that they don't see it as they don't see it as a problem, so they stop interacting physically. They just, in their phones all the time. The same for AI, but it's a tool, right? So it depends on how we use the tool. It can be a threat. It can be really a blessing. And just one example of AI systems, and so one of them is essential. Not one of them, but so we can think about it as being essential, which is, for example, medical diagnosis. I've seen startups developing products that can really diagnose someone's illness based on symptoms. So you type in different things, and then the system is trying to understand what is it that you might have. So this is essential, like crucial for your health. So this system is very important. And then the other one is what we're doing now, for example, with this video conferencing. So I've seen systems that are able to identify what kind of connection problems you have, and then change screen resolution, audio quality, or just do whatever you can think of to make sure that you have a flawless experience. So those are AI systems, right? But they're very different, very, very different. So one of them is crucial, like medical diagnosis, and the other one is good to have. And important question here is who to blame. So for example, one of them fails. For example, there's video connection problems. If it fails, we don't care about it. We just disconnect. We just, oh, okay, whatever, bad day today. But if medical diagnosis system fails, who to blame? Is it the creator of the system? Is it the doctor who used, I don't know, who's been used, or her knowledge was used to build the system? So this is very important. So if somebody was diagnosed with something that is not correct, it has to be somebody to blame. We can't blame just AI. So this is it's a very interesting question. I'm really interested in how this will be developing, the whole ethics behind it. So who to blame, I think, is a very important question. But I'm really enjoying the call.
Excellent, Anton. Excellent. And I can speak on behalf of all our friends that this point which you made about automatically increasing, decreasing resolution and all of that, depending on the internet, all of us must have experienced in this in online, no matter which country we are coming from, how good is the technology there. These things happen. Yeah. So this is such a full point that you don't lose the connection and the system is, doing making changes in the frequency. What a beautiful example that is. Please reflect on this and also link this point with the comments Barnes made, our last friend, and how he was talking about evolution and biology. Link that with ethical dilemmas which our friend just made. But anyways, the next one, please. Thanks.
Hello. Well, I will talk a little bit on what the last speaker was developing. I think there are very good points. For example, for medicine, like the detection of cancer and diseases, and for example, now to create antibiotics, assembling proteins, etc. This is very useful and necessary. But on the other hand, there are things that they are in the limit that represent risks. For example, it has been there are cases where they want to develop like criminal detection based on photography. So in those cases, what is the threshold for a detection of that for a suspicious person? We know that, for example, with the cancer detection, there is always a threshold. There are false positives, etc. So one should be careful with that. Likewise, this technology is prone to manipulate things, like manipulate speech, manipulate situations. As hackers or criminal hackers develop malware, it's possible to misuse this technology to do criminal activities. So finally, I want to finish with this. I want to be short. So this technology advances and became more useful, but at the same time more risky, and more at the same time more independent, and more independent of for humans to be used. So I want to finalize with this question: how much AI in the end do we need? So this is, I think, is it's my message. I want to think how much AI do we need. Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Excellent. I'm very happy that you had made some notes and you ensured that you go through all the points which you wanted to make, because sometimes we forget we have some things, and you made very nice points in short period of time. So please, guys, follow that strategy. Our friend Ray, in the last, he raised a question: how much AI do we need? How much AI do we need? Just to reflect on this, let's replace AI with some other technology which we already have. Internet. How much internet do we really need? Are we spending too much time unnecessarily on internet and just browsing up and down on Instagram and Facebook and all of that, and becoming really unproductive? productive in our life, thinking that we are just having fun and wasting our time. All of us do that every now and then. Yeah. So if we use internet, how we use it, that is going to make the all the difference in which type of websites we go to. All of that is in our hands also, as Abu said, the first commentator in our discussion. So please reflect on that beautiful point, and very nice examples Alicia has shared with us. Please see if you can start reading on that, and I will also show you a lot of examples, but they are going to come in third session or something like that, or maybe fourth session, because we need to look at some basics. But for now, as here mentioned, something like assembling protein. Please run a Google search on this right now. Artificial intelligence assembling protein. Some advancement has just happened in last 2 weeks, as I was reading, and those advancements are going to disrupt the agriculture sector. That is quite interesting how they are linking with that. And other things, I'm sure you guys are familiar with that, fake fake voices, someone duplicating your voice and stuff like that. We will look at those examples also. But these questions you need to think about, and you must be seeing this trend, that on one hand this is technology, AI, and on the other side ethical, moral implications, risks they are running with this. So another point which I want to make is that, let's say that there are some friends in our session who are not interested in tech, who are not interested in math, stats, and all of these programming, and you can make a career in AI even without that. Start working on ethical implications of AI. Start looking at psychology of human being, psychology of cities, evolution, as Barnes, the Piotr Barnes raised some very nice questions on that. Biology, evolution, that has nothing to do with mathematics, as long as the way I'm looking at it. And you can learn about psychology influencing behaviors, change management, all of those things, and then come into the sector of AI. And if you go in ethics, you can't go wrong with that. For the rest of your life, you have your career there, because ethical issues are going to be there no matter what, no matter it is narrow AI or strong AI or generalized AI, whatever it is. Ethical issues are never going to go. Just like human beings, ethical issues never go. For different countries, different laws, different regulations. Even now, child labor, different countries have different regulations on that. Some countries, are you aware that there are a couple of countries where a child labor is allowed at the age of 10? Can you believe that? Run some search, and if you don't find, I will show you. I have the link, but I will just have to go on my website. I don't want to waste time. I think it is Bolivia, I think, but don't quote me on that. But just run a Google search. Child labor age 10 years. See which countries come up. If someone can run that search and tell us, because it sounds very wrong, but it is not wrong. When you will go in depth, you will understand the dynamics of the country, what are the restrictions, in which conditions they have implemented that law. You will understand that they are doing the right thing, because it is circumstance based. They are better off if they let their children 10 years, 11 years old work. On the other hand, there are countries where it is 16. What is that? That is ethical, moral type of issues. All these questions which our friend has made. So what I'm trying to say, that these technologies, AI, it's quite, you can enter in the field with whatever way you want. It's not about just programming and stuff like that. Yes, next one, please.
Yes, hi. I would like to start by saying that, interestingly, we're talking a lot about the risks and handling this technology very responsibly. Although we are in an, yeah, I think we are not all philosophers, but most of us should be programmers and, in the information technology environment. But I would like to add some ideas and some thoughts. What I think why people are afraid of artificial intelligence. I think some people are afraid because it seems like we have a technology where we don't understand what's happening internally. Yeah, so the system learns something, but we don't know how. But actually, none of us really knows how Excel internally works. So, or even a car or the mobile phone, which we use every day, like Anton already. But I think at the same time, what we are doing here is we see that the technology, you can't stop it. But what we can do is we can define rules against misuse and rules how we all can handle this technology responsibly, like with previous technologies like cloning, where we had some ethical rules not to clone humans, not to mix with animals and stuff like that. And I think also very interesting is the point that when someone hears the word artificial intelligence, everybody always thinks the intelligence that we're talking about with the technology is the same like with humans. But is it the same art of intelligence, or is it a different type of learning? So maybe we shouldn't compare like these both kinds, because I had a computer a few years ago which can beat the Go players, but can't do anything else. Yeah, so it's a different kind of learning. But on the other side of the spectrum are algorithms which develop a kind of racism which wasn't in the data, but where we already always have to be very careful. And I think what people are afraid of, which Elon Musk also is talking about, are self-learning and self-developing systems which we can't stop and can't control. I think this is the big danger which everybody is afraid of. And also enjoying the session a lot. Let me add that.
Yes, thanks very much. Very nice points, and our friend ensured that he does not talk about anything which is already said, and he gave new points, and that is very clever, and I'm very thankful for that. 2 points maybe I want to just pick up, although all of the points were very good, but you guys need to reflect on this which you are passionate about and you like. Racism is something which is very interesting in AI. And if I ask you guys that do you stereotype or not, you might say that you don't stereotype, because generally speaking it is a bad word the way it is used. But think about it. When you saw me, you stereotyped in your head. You made a mental picture. Even now as I'm speaking, the way I am talking, my accent, all of these things you are using without knowing. You are not doing it purposefully. It is automatically happening. You are putting me in some space in your head in terms of my looks. Am I attractive or not? My intelligence, my ability to communicate, all automatically you are doing it. All the things, all of your past engagements, they are coming into play. So for example, I come from Indian origin. How you have been with Indians in the past? Maybe you don't like Indians, and that is perfectly fine. Maybe you had a big fight with some Indian guy this morning, and you just don't like that race. Or on the other hand, your best friend is from that part of the world. My God, I think you guys can't hear me now.
I can hear
No,
you.
we can hear you. Everything is great. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
All good.
I can hear you too.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, it's fine over here too.
All good, all good.
Yeah, everything is fine.
I think the problem is with his connection, because
Yeah, seems like it.
yeah, he seems gone, and now we are on his backup.
Okay. So there's a apparently there's a major delay problem on his end. It's like at least 1.5 seconds, and now he's gone totally.
Is he still there with his backup?
I don't know, what is this thing called?
I think
Yeah.
he will do again, so maybe we have to wait.
Maybe it's a smart way to make us communicate and engage.
Yeah, that's a good way actually. Now we have all our time. We can just
Maybe he wasn't even real. It was an AI.
He's watching.
evil AI. AI is in power.
Yeah, he's the first super AI.
Yeah.
Still, I don't understand your question, but I am from Germany if you need any help with anything.
So he's coming back shortly. Okay.
He wants Didier to talk.
I think he can hear us, but can't
Oh,
talk.
yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can see and can
Yes.
hear you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's unfortunate that he disappeared. So, I mean, he's the master of the class. But anyway, if I have to continue from here, I'll probably use a very famous quote from a guy that probably every one of us knows, that says that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the way that I see is that this sums everything, because with AI there is always a left and a right. So it is a tool that we have, and we are the ones creating it, and we can use it either for a good reason or take it to a different direction. And everybody right here had pretty good examples, because basically AI is something that can be and is being used in everything, basically, because right now we're talking about the Pandora box. Because when we think about it, first we came up with the computers, and then we came with the internet, and now we have AI. So there is only moving forward from here. So that's pretty much the way that I see it. And one point that I would like to also to open here is that AI is also used quite a lot when it comes to finances, because nowadays there is a lot of common tasks that require a lot of repetition and so on. And what is happening right now is that actually people are teaching AI to analyze those signals and also make those certain moves when it comes to, for example, buying stocks and so on. And that's also one way that we can see how much AI. Sorry about my voice. I got a little cold. I sound like, yeah, like someone punched me in the throat. Yeah. So that's one thing that we can notice from it. Yeah. But a part of that, I mean, we can go forever with this topic, because I'm quite sure that you guys know a lot about it, and it's something that I've also quite been watching it for quite a long amount of time, and yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say for now.
Maybe I can now mention something else. So I was thinking about that, analyzing pictures, let's say, which are about to detect if we have to deal with cancer or not. And there is this idea that if the system is, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it's above average, what humankind can provide, it's already going to be used, because in average it brings better results. So I think when we reach that level, then it will be like no one will be blamed about that. Of course, there are going to be some cases where there will be a wrong decision, but in average, in the big numbers, it will provide a sort of new way of dealing with the problems that we didn't have before. And to me, what was also interesting is that from the predictions, the doctors, they are in danger. I I heard about accountants, I heard about finance, but when I was reading about it, that actually the doctors who are looking and deciding if someone is about to be operated and in which way, and that these professions are about to be, let's say, redefined, that they will work with AI alongside. That's very interesting, and yeah, that's all for now on my side.
Thank you very much. I appreciate Barnes and our last friend. This would happen time and again. I might lose, but this much time will take for me to come back. So in that time, you guys need to continue talking about the things. Don't be silent in time and help the discussion going forward. So both participants made very nice points. I think the first participant had some cold or something. I hope you get recovered very quickly. Don't want you or something. And Barnes is raising very interesting point that it does not has to be very advanced AI to get benefits from it, because think about it, even now simple tools automatically in our telephones and stuff like that. When we do some type of search and we start getting some type of recommendations or stuff like that, even in our emails, what is that? That is use of technologies making these things easier. Did you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Did he has raised his hand?
yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. No, I just want to say I'm sorry for this voice because my kid's been playing in the rain, and my little girl got
That's
sick,
okay.
and now I got sick too. So I sound like a like some sort of a robot right now. But yeah.
That's
So
okay. I hope you are enjoying. I hope you are enjoying in Paris. I see the tower behind you, so have
oh
fun.
yeah. This is a. I had a.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So
even the average AI is going to help us. So it is not about all the hype and other things which we are talking about, like this will happen in the future and that. But even the average AI, we just need to see in our work whichever sector we are. Let's say we are in banking. So in banks, how banks are using these type of technologies. What is the future of banking? How various technologies would be used in banks, in insurance, stock market, in medicine, whatever it is. So what we need to understand our field, and then we need to also understand how that field will be transformed because of the usage of various technologies, including AI. That is what the mindset should be like. 2 points I wanted to talk about. Our friend who came before Didi. Racism. I was talking about that. So based on your earlier interactions with, let's say, Indians, you would already have some type of image about them. How you rate them in various things, in smartness, in looks, in whatever you want to call it. How they sound, everything overall, you would have that made that bias, if you want to call it, and we all have it. So when any one of us is going to make or develop AI, those biases which we already have, if we do not have taken account of those in terms of writing our algorithms and whatever we are trying to do, they are naturally going to come in the system, and you are seeing these things, this trend. You are thinking, for example, crime control. So if you have certain features and you are, let's say, you are black, you have certain features, you have certain voice tone, voice quality, you are coming from certain countries, when you are entering in the airport, some extra questions would be asked from you. Or if you are coming from, let's say, Muslim background, you are coming from some countries which were involved in 9/11 or something like that, your last name is something like Bin Laden or something like that. So when you are going into the airport or exiting or even getting a visa, all of these things happen. So in AI, automatically these things are going to happen. So these are some challenges which you need to think about. But you don't. But this should not stop you from going into these type of things like racism and those type of things. Because these things are already in the world with AI or without AI. This is part of life. You have to deal with that. Cloning is another thing which our friend spoke about. I really like that idea, especially in the context where our friend mentioned that cloning is like it's kind of illegal, and there are regulations what you can clone and what you cannot clone, and whatever. Very interesting things are happening in that. So there are scientists who make robots, and then they give them the skin facial features of their favorite actress, female, anyone they like. This is happening. What is that? It is a robot, and they give it the face. Who is your favorite actress, or who is your favorite actor, who you fancy? You might never be able to get them, but you have that robot with that feature face, and that is what it is. Yeah. So cloning, yes, no, but see where what is happening. Yeah. So quite interesting things are there. But going back to the clip, let's see, let's talk about a little. So very good initial discussion. So you have made a lot of points which would help us going forward, and we might not have to watch so many clips, and you will be watching in your own time, definitely. So let me share the screen and we go back to our website. All right. So as you are seeing on the screen now, this is where we started introductory. All of the questions you raised. First of all, thank you very much. And second, please everyone reflect on these questions. There are no right or wrong answers for that. Everyone's right and everyone's wrong can be different, coming from their background and how they think and how they want to develop their career based on their preferences. These are very personalized type of things. But the idea is that we need to start thinking about these things uh, from now. So please do that. 3 AI. This is an article which I really liked. 3 AI types. So when you click on this is going to open. So something very basics, but this is how we should start. What are 3 types? Narrow, general, super. What are the things which have already been done? Read on those, try to develop some understanding, and play with this article. Very nice, easy to understand language is being used. What is artificial general intelligence? Yeah, you guys have made some references without using the term AGI, but you guys have given some examples. I don't want to spend our time on things which I feel that you should be doing in your own time. So our week is both synchronous and asynchronous. So synchronous right now, live discussions, we are having live conversations. And then you are going to go on website and fill in the blanks by watching the clips, reading the articles. There is quite a few information on the website there which will keep you busy for the week and even later on. Also, don't get overwhelmed by so much information. Build your own pace, and it is not that you will be examined. I will be asking you what is narrow AI and what is strong AI and stuff like that. There is no examination like that. Please read the guideline on your OMA. It is just participation. It is your clip, and it is reflection, which you are doing, like you are doing it every day. I will talk about it later when we are coming to the end of the session. So what is artificial general intelligence? Short clip. Please watch this one in your own time. The rise of general intelligence. These clips are very carefully selected over a period of time. So please watch them and try to reflect on them. Even if your knowledge is advanced in AI, because you are going to learn a thing or two by watching those clips and then having interaction in the sessions, because different people have different way of thinking. So please do that. This is what I want to do now. This is a 5-minute long clip. So as I understand that people from various backgrounds are coming in, so I think we should watch. This is
artificial intelligence for people in a hurry. The easiest way to think about artificial intelligence is in the context of a human. After all, humans are the most intelligent creatures we know of. AI is a broad branch of computer science. The goal of AI is to create systems that can function intelligently and independently. Humans can speak and listen to communicate through language. This is the field of speech recognition. Much of speech recognition is statistically based. Hence, it's called statistical learning. Humans can write and read text in language. This is the field of NLP, or natural language processing. Humans can see with their eyes and process what they see. This is the field of computer vision. Computer vision falls under the symbolic way for computers to process information. Recently, there's been another way, which I'll come to later. Humans recognize the scene around them through their eyes, which create images of that world. This field of image processing, which even though is not directly related to AI, is required for computer vision. Humans can understand their environment and move around fluidly. This is the field of robotics. Humans have the ability to see patterns, such as grouping of like objects. This is the field of pattern recognition. Machines are even better at pattern recognition because they can use more data and dimensions of data. This is the field of machine learning. Now let's talk about the human brain. The human brain is a network of neurons, and we use these to learn things. If we can replicate the structure and the function of the human brain, we might be able to get cognitive capabilities in machines. This is the field of neural networks. If these networks are more complex and deeper, and we use those to learn complex things, that is the field of deep learning. There are different types of deep learning in machines, which are essentially different techniques to replicate what the human brain does. If we get the network to scan images from left to right, top to bottom, it's a convolution neural network. A CNN is used to recognize objects in a scene. This is how computer vision fits in, and object recognition is accomplished through AI. Humans can remember the past, like what you had for dinner last night. Well, at least most of you. We can get a neural network to remember a limited past. This is a recurrent neural network. As you see, there are two ways AI works. One is symbolic-based and another is data-based. For the database side, called machine learning, we need to feed the machine lots of data before it can learn. For example, if you had lots of data for sales versus advertising spend, you can plot that data to see some kind of a pattern. If the machine can learn this pattern, then it can make predictions based on what it has learned. While 1 or 2 or even 3 dimensions is easy for humans to understand and learn, machines can learn in many more dimensions, like even 100 or thousands. That's why machines can look at lots of high-dimensional data and determine patterns. Once it learns these patterns, it can make predictions that humans can't even come close to. We can use all these machine learning techniques to do one of two things: classification or prediction. As an example, when you use some information about customers to assign new customers to a group, like young adults, then you are classifying that customer. If you use data to predict if they're likely to defect to a competitor, then you're making a prediction. There's another way to think about learning algorithms used for AI. If you train an algorithm with data that also contains the answer, then it's called supervised learning. For example, when you train a machine to recognize your friends by name, you'll need to identify them for the computer. If you train an algorithm with data where you want the machine to figure out the patterns, then it's unsupervised learning. For example, you might want to feed the data about celestial objects in the universe and expect the machine to come up with patterns in that data by itself. If you give any algorithm a goal and expect the machine, through trial and error, to achieve that goal, then it's called reinforcement learning. A robot's attempt to climb over the wall until it succeeds is an example of that. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and if you like my videos, please subscribe. For example, you might want to feed the data about celestial objects in the universe.
Yes, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the clip. Very informative and gives us a nice chart. This chart. So this is which I would want you to take note of, and then going forward, also add to this based on your understanding and the things you are learning in your course, and based on your exposure to technologies and so on. Make a note of this type of chart, RNN, NLP, NN, these type of things, robotics and stuff, and try to add to this based on new fields and new things coming in the exciting field of AI. So please do that in your own time, of course. Yeah. What is AI? This is again another different type of explanation. I think through your intelligent commentary, useful commentary in the earlier part of the session, you guys have established what are the basic things which I might wanted to talk about. But if you will watch this clip, what is AI? Of course, you are going to get a little bit of a different insight, because everyone is explaining AI very differently. As a matter of fact, what is AI? If someone says, all right, define what is AI. Yes, there are definitions like that for AI. This is AI, but all AI, and everyone has agreed on that definition. It is not like that. So the first thing is that everyone has not, we have not decided that this should be the definition of AI, and there is improvement in the definitions. That is one thing, and then there are adding other layers to the field of AI. For example, artificial general intelligence, AGI. So they include some terminologies in that, and then they come up with a new definition. So the way I'm looking at it, and you can have your own opinion on that, going forward, the definition of AI is not going to be same. Let's say in 3, 4, 5 years, it is going to be very different. Maybe artificial intelligence would remain as it is defined now, but new concepts, new things would be added added to that. So please reflect on that and think about it. There are quite a few articles which I have added for what is AI. The ones I liked most. Please scan through these articles as you are seeing on your screen. All the things are available on the website. In your own time, you are going to um, going to read them. So different perspectives are there. American perspective of sites coming from America, sites coming from Europe, how they are looking at sites coming from uh, USA, for example. I'm seeing that some blogs are also I have included. So once you will scan through these based on where you are in your understanding, some people will be able to scan through quickly, others will have to read a little bit. But I have ensured that I don't include anything fancy or difficult, because it is we are doing a basic introductory level AI course. 5 AI types, I think that is very important to reflect on. In the clip also, which you watched a while ago, they were talking about these type of things. For example, machine learning, what is that, what is the usage of that? Run simple Google searches, try to understand, try to distinguish a little bit about these. What is deep learning is quite a few, it's getting big and big. Essentially it is about looking at unstructured data, algorithm stuff like that. So please develop some basic understanding on that. Google is doing couple of very smart things in deep learning. They have dedicated, I think they have dedicated some website to that also. And there are in application section, I think in third week or fourth week, I do plan to talk about those things. Amazon is using that. That is one of the reasons why they are able to sell so much. Netflix is definitely using AI as they recommend us which programs, which shows, which we would want to watch. So it is not just that the quality of the programs which Netflix offer very good, that is why we are watching it. It is not just that, they are also using these technologies which help them reach to the right person who would be interested in different markets. Their algorithm is quite extensive. Please read on that. As a matter of fact, it would be nice if you can listen to the uh, talks of the top people of these companies on AI. They are readily available on YouTube. Just in half an hour, 25 minutes, you will understand their strategy, what are the things they are doing, and stuff like that. And Amazon, as you know, big businesses, the richest guy in the world is coming from that company. So it is not by chance that that thing happened. Data, using data to their advantage, and using different algorithms are the things which help them. Targeted marketing and other type of things, which is definitely backed by uh, by artificial intelligence and similar type of tools. So please spend some time on this website, uh, on these links, and see what you can think about. What is AI, how and when it is going to uh, have an impact in our lives. Short clip, please watch it in your own time. Again, we have established some basics through the discussion. So now you need to keep that discussion in mind as you are watching these clips, and try to find your own answer. This is a documentary, a very short, brief history of AI. Uh, it is not that important to know history. if you are not interested in that, but it gives you that where we are coming from. It gives you that type of sense. So that sense is important. Just like our friends, couple of friends mentioned, at least two friends mentioned how smartphones are, transforming the life. One friend said that we cannot even imagine our life without a smartphone, which was not there, let's say 20 years ago or stuff like that. So same is the concept of AI. But you guys have raised very important questions, so you need to think about those questions which you raised and bring them in our discussion. So together we can maybe find some answers and solutions to that. So, also, I would say that it would be good in if you can spend time understanding how different people have created their path in the field of AI, how they started, what are the things they did. I think it gives you a sense when you are planning your career, or even if you are trying to improve your career by incorporating the knowledge of some technologies. What are the things they 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 did in the back end, for example. Even if you want to talk about languages, different people, you are going to say different people have preferences for different languages. One is going to say do this language, another one is going to say do that language. So those are controversial type of things, depending on who is your mentor and stuff like that. But definitely you need to explore those things by yourself also. So I would, this is one example which I liked, this guy's journey and take on AI. It's a 5 minute, 6 minute long clip. I don't want to spend our time looking at that here, because I think you can watch it in your own time and think about it. You guys have mentioned some impact and stuff like that, like for example smart cities and stuff like that. But let's watch this clip and maybe discuss it.
AI is here to stay, with the promise of transforming the way the world works. According to a study by PwC, $16 trillion of GDP will be added between now and 2030 on the basis of AI. This is a never-before-seen scale of economic impact, and it is not just in the IT industry. It impacts virtually every industry and aspect of our lives. AI means different things to different people. For a video game designer, AI means writing the code that affects how bots play and how the environment reacts to the player. For a screenwriter, AI means a character that acts like a human with some trope of computer features mixed in. For a data scientist, AI is a way of exploring and classifying data to meet specific goals. AI algorithms that learn by example are the reason we can talk to Watson, Alexa, Siri, Cortana, and Google Assistant, and they can talk back to us. The natural language processing and natural language generation capabilities of AI are not only enabling machines and humans to understand and interact with each other, but are creating new opportunities and new ways of doing business. Chatbots powered by natural language processing capabilities are being used in healthcare to question patients and run basic diagnoses like real doctors. In education, they are providing students with easy-to-learn conversational interfaces and on-demand online tutors. Customer service chatbots are improving customer experience by resolving queries on the spot and freeing up agents' time for conversations that add value. AI-powered advances in speech-to-text technology have made real-time transcription a reality. Advances in speech synthesis are the reason companies are using AI-powered voice to enhance customer experience and give their brand its unique voice. In the field of medicine, it's helping patients with Lou Gehrig's disease, for example, to regain their real voice in place of using a computerized voice. It is due to advances in AI that the field of computer vision has been able to surpass humans in tasks related to detecting and labeling objects. Computer vision is one of the reasons why cars can steer their way on streets and highways and avoid hitting obstacles. Computer vision algorithms detect facial features in images and compare them with databases of face profiles. This is what allows consumer devices to authenticate the identities of their owners through facial recognition, social media apps to detect and tag users, and law enforcement agencies to identify criminals in video feeds. Computer vision algorithms are helping automate tasks, such as detecting cancerous moles in skin images or finding symptoms in X-ray and MRI scan. AI is impacting the quality of our lives on a daily basis. There is AI in our Netflix queue, our navigation apps, keeping spam out of our inboxes, and reminding us of important events. AI is working behind the scenes, monitoring our investments, detecting fraudulent transactions, identifying credit card fraud, and preventing financial crimes. AI is impacting healthcare in significant ways by helping doctors arrive at more accurate preliminary diagnoses, reading medical imaging, finding appropriate clinical trials for patients. It is not just influencing patient outcomes, but also making operational processes less expensive. AI has the potential to access enormous amounts of information, imitate humans, even specific humans, make life-changing recommendations about health and finances, correlate data that may invade privacy, and much more.
Yes, anyone would like to comment on this short clip, 3-minute clip we watched? What is your observation? What comes to your mind when you were watching this clip? One or two observations would be fine if one or two people can just quickly comment on something which they liked in this clip, or some anything which is giving them any thought, any new thought which they maybe got by watching this clip. Any idea, any observation, please go ahead. Yes, Anton, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think AI now for us is like electricity. You know, so we can live without it, but I can hardly imagine not being not living without electricity. So it's just everywhere. Before when we started this conversation, what 1.5 hours ago, I think my thinking was very limited, so I could only come up with two concepts. But now I think it's really everywhere. Think about marketing, think about sales, think about medicine, think about whatever you can think of. Then it's always AI built in. So it's everywhere, and I don't think there's a way to stop it. And I think it's just we have to wait for the time when we can really truly enjoy it. And I'm really looking forward to it.
But think about
yeah,
face
very
recognition.
very interesting comment. Please think about this, which Anthony is saying. He's saying that no matter which field you are going into, this role of technology, AI, is going to come in that. It does not matter which field you are going, because in the clip you saw that. You saw that, advertising, medicine, no matter what you want to name, skin disease, all of those things. The application is quite huge, so there is no way of not getting a some appreciation of AI, no matter which industry you are going to go into. They are talking about detecting fraud. The data is there, banks have the data and information, all of those things, but humanly it is not very possible to go all the data. You can go through it, but it takes forever, it takes a lot of time. So using this type of technology, it can ease the burden for you guys.
I would like to point out one thing about this, that maybe I have seen in South Korea they use this AI, I think some sort of to detection this corona problem, and I think next time we'll be more prepared also if we use AI to like how to stop this corona spread, and if there is anything like, for example, if somebody gets corona and how their body react, if we can use AI with measurement on these, then we can somehow detect or predict something also about these. So in future, maybe with the help of AI, this kind of disease we can stop, or we can be better prepared for future things. But for this reason, we need lots of data, user data. I think that's the main concern. Maybe people will think that it will be a privacy concern also.
Yes, excellent point. Yes, excellent point. Yes, excellent. So our friend gave us this example of South Korea, and you will see that many different countries are doing a lot of things in using AI and stopping the spread of coronavirus, looking at your facial images and identifying if you have fever and those type of things. Quite interesting stuff is happening in many countries. So that is, again, the application is quite huge. So you need to think about that. My connection is some problem. You can hear me, I think, right?
I mean, we can kind of hear you sometimes, but then you can break off a bit.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, right now we can hear you.
We can hear you. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you. So think about these thanks. Yes, so think about these applications, and what I would really encourage is you don't need to maybe spend time in understanding the application in all various fields. What you really want to do, and I want to say it again because I think it is very important in your field, in your area of interest. Let's say that you are interested in education. So see how AI is being used in education. You are going to find very exciting examples where countries like China, they are using a lot of AI in classrooms to help engage students. And we will talk about these type of examples later on. Yes, Barnes, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Yes, I was thinking about one, because we were mentioning about what is the implication if the AI has own understanding of and decision making. But when I think about this face recognition, for example, now when we talk and the micro expressions that are on our faces, we don't see them so well, but the programs can really analyze every second of what we say and what we feel at the time. So if there is a person or group of people, limited group of people who have access to that knowledge, who has this this technology that they can also use it. We don't need AI as such that it's so powerful that it itself does something that we wouldn't like to do. It's enough if it's good enough for a group of people, and I'm thinking about 5, 10 people who are CEOs of the biggest companies, and when I would listen their speech about that topic, I have to take into account their own benefit from it and how they would like that it's, for example, Facebook. Of course, they would like to have it more and more because then they can sell advertisement better. They can put people in the bubbles. By doing that, they can manipulate not individual but the whole groups, whole nations, and this is a little bit like a magic in the hands of the wizard. And now the question is, who is the wizard, and what are the intentions of that person? Because if someone knows us better than we know each other, and I read the research that if we give likes over 250 likes on Facebook. The algorithms know us better than we know each other. Like the closest person from the family, the algorithm will know what we like more and predict what we're gonna do than the closest people in our life. And it's only 250 likes.
Maybe that's why we have to be very careful, and next time when we like, we will also like false things also, so that AI cannot identify. Like that's why maybe our study is also important, that how to keep privacy strong, and how to behave in Facebook, not behave like what we are real person. Maybe then it will be help for privacy related things.
But that's also a really good question, because for example, for Europe, this is a very challenging time, and democratic countries, because in this race of technology, how it advances, there are many legislations based on the human rights in, let's say, Europe, but in other countries where this is not taken into consideration, that the technology will develop and flourish. And what I want to say is that it's like internet or like a water. If not through this pipe, it will flow through other pipe in different place. But I think we cannot really even control it on that level. I think it's already like now too late to control it. It's and I want to say that I see both positives and the challenges for that side. I'm maybe bringing more this challenges that it brings, but I think it's sort of Pandora box, and there might be beautiful diamonds inside, but who knows what else.
This is very interesting, and thank you very much, Barnes, for this commentary. Very interesting and thought-provoking, and it raises up a lot of questions. And of course, we are not trying to talk about any country or any company. Of course, that is not the intention. We are just trying to wrap our heads around it, because think about it. Barnes is talking about companies like Facebook. So recently, you guys must be aware about the data breaches which Facebook went through, and what was the fine which they paid? Anyone is familiar with the amount of money which they had to give? I can't really remember, but I think it was something around 5 billion US dollars. 5 billion US dollars. Court gave them a fine of 5 billion, something like that. Don't quote me on that. You can run a search, and it was quite a high amount of money. So why do you think court gave them that 5 billion US dollar or something around that fine? They must be doing something wrong with the data which they are not supposed to do. And although they say that we protect your data and everything like that, but think about it. You have a room in your house, and it is accessible, but you tell me that I'm not going to go in that room, but in the night, if you just go there and do what you have to do, there is no way for me to find out because it is in your access. You can do that whenever you want. So again, the essential question, I think Barnes is trying us to reflect on, that how much do we really need it, because there is essentially no limit. You can add into that, and even facial recognition, facial recognition. How much data should we allow these company to capture in terms of our facial recognition? If you guys were listening to what Barnes was saying, he mentioned that AI can detect the minor details in your facial expression, the minor details which human beings, generally speaking, cannot, unless they are trained very well trained in doing that. We can't do that, but AI can do that. And now companies are using this technique which Barnes brought it in the interviews. So AI is conducting the interview. AI is looking at your facial recognition, and I'm not talking about anything in future or something which I watched in a movie or something like that. In the third or fourth session, I will be giving you names of the companies and examples which are doing it, and those companies are going to tell you that they are doing it for. They won't name the companies, but the owner of those companies which do AI interviewing, they are going to tell you that they are conducting business for Fortune 500 companies and stuff like that. So, and think about it. This is going to happen because on a bigger scale, because any job opening, companies want the best talent from across the world. Yeah. How many resumes do you think, how many CVs for a basic job a company is going to get? Just in
I think the connection died again.
yes, Ronnie, please go ahead.
What? Okay, then I can talk if you want. So yeah, basically I just had a general question for, well, pretty much everyone here. Like we were talking about the ethnicity of the AI and stuff like that, but how would you feel if AI was given access, for example, as far as everyone's medical records in the like governal databases or national databases? And example, if the AI could give you recommendations based on those records and everything else, like that is otherwise highly confidential, like nobody can access those. But what if the AI could access those and act on that information, for example? I just want to know.
I think that
Excellent job, Ronnie. Very nice. I'm loving the point which Ronnie has raised, and that is the spirit of our interaction. These are not lecturing and that type of thing. We need to raise these type of difficult questions and then try to answer them. And what Ronnie is saying is quite interesting, because think about it. There are countries in the world and very near to you, for example, the countries on the top of the map, Sweden and those type of countries. In those countries, you can check for Sweden, for example. As the child is born, he is given a number or something like that, and it goes in the record. And then everything they are doing, it going in the record, and it is maintained by the government officials. Of course, they are going to say that the data is not being shared to the wider community, but the point, and they are not sharing it also. I'm not saying that they are sharing, but that data is somewhere, and hacking and those type of things are reality of the world. Someone can go there and take all the information, that what are the things, they can take all the information about Ronnie if he's on the system. What are the good things in his life, what are the challenges in his life, all of those things. And he said it very rightly. You don't want to disclose those things to everyone and anyone, but there are countries which are doing that. So just to balance the point of view, so we spoke about Sweden, European country. We can talk about China, for example. Facial recognition, lot of data they are capturing through looking at the faces of the people. And let me clarify that it is not just a facial recognition. What we should talk about is object recognition. And in object recognition, one of the things is face. Yeah, it is just one of the many things. And then object recognition, for example, if someone's car is stolen, or if someone's motorcycle is stolen, something is stolen, and it is recognized by the image capturing thing, and if it shows up anywhere else in the country, system can detect it. So in stealing, crime, all of those things, that is part of, we say facial recognition, but, and I might use it repeatedly in the sessions, but what I really mean is object recognition. Yes, Thang, please go ahead.
I think I just want to answer the erroneous question. So if we really want to answer if AI is trustable and reliable, I think we need to introduce like those new AI technology into our life like very slowly, because I think that human need to learn how to deal with and to adapt with like to AI as well. So we need to use, and then we return feedback, and then we can improve the AI, and then if we feel like it's not suitable for humans' life or it's not trustable enough, then we can like move on to something else. So my point is that we need to try to use, and then we improve it very slowly, and we need to learn how to live with AI as well.
This is very interesting point which Thang has mentioned, and I think this is a very good approach, because technology is advanced at a very high speed, and humans take a little bit of a time in understanding the things and stuff like that. So there is always a lag. So but this point which I really want to make is that, you know, these societies are definitely going to take some time in learning about AI and stuff like that. But you and me from now, we need to prepare for that time, that if that time comes and we are there, we can maximize from the utilities of AI because we understand them a little better than other people. So now is the time to start thinking about these things, preparing about these things, reading a lot about that, and develop our own point of view, independent of others. Although there is nothing like independent, we are influenced by the company we keep and the things we read, but still try to have a balanced independent approach. But most importantly, try to prepare for that future of work. Yeah. So yes, many people will say that it's not coming right now and it is time, and that is fine. It is, no one is saying that, we are not saying that AGI is here and all of those exciting things are over here. And Thang has very nicely said that it will take time, and over a period of time let it develop. That is fine, but we need to have our own pace. So for example, data analytics, all of that AI is dependent on data. Unless it start learning on its own, like Barnes raised the question, how does a child learn from doing own things? Yeah. So unless that time comes, it is dependent on data. So we cannot go wrong if we are doing something on understanding how to analyze data, different formats of data, images is data, all of those things. If we can do that, ethics, for example, ethical issues, legal issues, if we are working on those things, I don't think we can go very wrong on that. So please think about these things. Yes, is Rafi, please go ahead.
I would just like to ask a question. Kang, do you think we can control the speed of how the new technologies are used in society? Because I think what you said is we have to slow down a bit, but I think what the case is always is it will be faster and faster, and it will be not controllable how fast these technologies come into our lives.
What I mean is that like for some like more sensitive like technology, we need to take it like into more consideration. That's what I meant to say. Like to really see if that is safe and like okay for human being or not.
Okay, but do you think this is a realistic approach? Humans can do this? Because
I think it would
I'm
be
not very sure.
I think it would be realistic. I think so. Of course, like I think like
yeah,
the
please
people
go ahead.
with more preparation will not be like afraid of AI, but the people who is not prepared for that or you're not ready for that, maybe they should they should be afraid a bit. Because like if we really look at the very simple AI we have nowadays, even like a mobile phone, we get used to it. But like for those people who still overuse it, it's unhealthy, right? So when we are living with technology, we need to somehow use it like in a smart way.
And thanks for the point, and we take the point of Thang very nicely, and I tend to agree with what Thang has said. But please appreciate the question which Israfil has asked. He has raised the question there. Yeah. So it is take it just as a observation, and he's not trying to say that what he's thinking is right and what Thang is thinking is wrong. No, that is not. He's just raising a question that this is another way to think about it. So I want the session to be very open, because with AI what is going to happen, let's say that Israfil is one country and Thang is another country. Both are the lead AI ministers in their country. Both have different approach to how they are going to advance their country. uh, we can't say that one approach is better than the other, or someone else might have a totally different way of looking at it. Should we pace it? Should we go all in? For example, Europe is taking pace, the way I am looking at it based on my readings. They are looking at laws, regulations, all of those things. They want to do the paperwork before they go into that. Generally speaking, if you are talking about Europe, on the whole. On the other hand, China. China is going in it. Yes, they are doing the laws and regulation, but they are doing practical things. They are collecting data just like that. So which approach is right? I'm sure there will be friends in the session who are going to say that approach is wrong, that is not ethical. But that is the way of the country. Look at this coronavirus pandemic. It started from beautiful country China. Yes. So, but how did they take care of that? The government came, they said this is what it is, just do it. On the other hand, there are many lovely European countries which were taking time, slow, people giving people chance, please go in if you want, not being very decisive over there, and see what happened. I'm not trying to say that what they did was wrong. That is just their style. That is because they need to go in election, they need to ask for votes. That is different approach is there. Whole setup is different. Same thing is going to happen in AI. But again, if you are working on ethical issues, moral issues, the pace, these type of things which Thang mentioned, I don't think you can go very wrong. But anyone wants to comment on the question which our earlier friend raised the question that he said very innocently, he raised the question uh, that what do you guys think when the data will be in the hands of the government in one entity, all of the things, are you okay with that or not? That was very innocent question, although you could read between the lines that he was saying that that is not right, but he was very kind in putting the thing for us. Yes, Abu, please go ahead.
I think humanity is not ready for this kind of like openness, or if we give everything to our government right now, or like everyone is giving, then our natural development that will be like broke down, because we have our own space. Like we have to give our way of thinking or freedom of speech, or sometimes this kind of thing. This will improve our mentality, and also as a country whole, we can go better. So if every country is implementing these things, I think in future it will be bad for every other human being. So we should not give everything to the government, and government should not ask everything from their their like citizen also. But specifically when there is a certain things come, for example, coronavirus or something like special patient information, that time they can gather this information. But after like certain time, 1 year, 2 year, when the problem goes away, that time it should be deleted. For example, recently Google is doing something that there is one option that every 3 months or 6 months or 12 months after, they will delete automatically your whatever they gather this information. We should be opt out this option, and we should we should be aware of our things also, that so that Facebook or Google they don't get everything from us. So we have to be careful, and we have to be aware of our privacy also, and this will, I think, as a humanity, this will develop, and this will improve our future humanness or something. I think that's
Very nice, Abu. Thanks for that. And Jonas has posted a link, if you can see in the chat a while ago, about Google. Please see if you can go through that. But coming back to what the question, the reflection Abu is sharing with us. Um, he's saying that, okay, collect the data in coronavirus type of times, and then afterwards delete it. Data is something you don't like deleting, especially that type of data. I'm not saying that people will not delete it, and let's say that you get you get all the email addresses of people in Finland. For some reason something happened and you collected the data, all the email addresses, and now you have it, and you have their age, and you have their basic information. I'm not talking about anything fancy. I'm talking about basic things: male, female, local Finnish, coming from other country, a little ethnic background, and then email addresses and maybe age group. Just that simple basic data. Yeah, and you get all of that for Finland people. Now I say delete it. Yeah, you might delete it, but it's what can you do with that data? How much money a company like Google or something like that is willing to, or they would already have that data. Of course, they have all the data. All the people are using Gmail, people are using Hotmail across the world. They have all the data already. Yeah, but any other company, any other startup, and they say, all right, you have this basic data, we want to do some type of marketing. This is, see how much you can earn from that. Or to do your own thing, you can start some business and use those emails. Yeah, so many other things can be done. Yeah, this is just one example. So data, yes, it is quite the power of data is so enormous. Even if you forget about AI, just simple data, that that once you start seeing the benefits of that, you just want to collect more and more and more and more. And then, just like I think Barnes raised the question, oh, where should we stop? Where is the end? There is no, it's just like money. You want, do you like money? You want to, of course you guys have decent money. You have a laptop, you have cameras, you have mic, you have your basic needs met, you are okay. But do you want more money? Yes, you want more. How much more? More. Generally speaking, people would want more and more. Data is the new money. Data is the new currency. So these companies just want more and more and more. So very interesting points to to reflect on. Please think about these things. Let me share the screen and move on. Okay, so some applications of AI. You guys have made some points, very interesting ones, application and privacy issues, all of those things. I see that because of this discussion format, we might be going back and forth. So in the coming modules, there might be some things which we have already discussed, and that is fine. If we have already discussed something, then we we won't have to spend so much time in discussing. So if you like structured approach, you want step-by-step approach, you follow the website. If you want, like, opinions as they come, the learning as it happens, then our discussions and this type of thing is going to help you. Yes, one more point I wanted to talk about, this freedom of speech. Abu mentioned this freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is, of course, very important. Very important. So if a country is looking at those details, making their country people, bringing them on one page, giving them, freedom of choice, freedom of speaking, looking at all the ethical issues, implications, all of that. If you have to do it like that, well, I'm not discouraging, that is how we should do it, but it takes considerable amount of time and effort and resources, which countries might want to spend somewhere else. Try to reflect on this using some example of some company. Let's say, and not trying to speak against any company or nothing like that. All the examples which I will be giving, all the companies, I like those companies. That is why I'm giving their examples. So for example, Nike. I like the company. It is nice. They have a very nice logo also. Just do it, something like that. Yeah. So, but think about it. Where do they make their shoes? They offshore the business to countries where they can where they can pay less and get benefit from lower paid from the higher people, where they would have to pay less, uh, and with bad working conditions and stuff like that, uh, so they can maximize from their business. They will have to pay less, and if they are paying less, they will be earning definitely more as they are selling their shoes. uh, should they be ethical in all of that? Yes, they should be. If they want to be ethical, then they will have to not get involved in those type of practices. Other companies, like international, I'm talking about international businesses, Nestle, just run a Google search, Nestle ethical issues, you will find out. Nike ethical issues, you will find out. Amazon ethical issues, you will find out. Amazon, great company, but there are many people who are not happy at all with Amazon's practices, and they work there, they are their employees, and they have their legitimate cases, all of that. But these companies are doing these things because they just have to do it. And to make up for all of the bad, if there is any, what they would do, get involved in CSR, corporate social responsibility. And they say, all right, we are doing this good for the society and all of that thing, yes. But they have done some damage, but they are trying to recover from that. Same approach can be taken by countries also. So because if they would be very ethical about the data collection and all of those things, yes, they should be. That is the right way to do it, but that is going to decrease the pace. That is going to decrease the pace. And the future of the world is that whoever wins the race of these technologies, let's say artificial intelligence, they are going to remain the superpower till 2100, till next 100 years. So there is a race between these top countries like China, we spoke about, USA. Yes, they want to be ethical, and they don't want to be, no one wants to do anything unethical purposefully. But the dilemma, the challenge is that if they spend so much time in looking at these issues, they might delay the implementation of these technologies. So that is the dilemma for these countries, and that is why many times we misunderstand what China is trying to do, because many times they just jump the queue, and they just do it. They should not do it in a discussion like this, in a classroom environment. They should not do. but the practicality of the things are very different. And if you are coming from a modern developed country like Germany, like Finland, these type of countries, Norway, Sweden, these type of countries where they are doing things better than rest of the world, and that is fine. But we are global citizen. So these discussions which we are having, these are not just about Finland or a developed country. We are talking about other countries. We are talking about the data in coming from Africa. Are you aware that how much investment these top companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, they are making in Africa? Please run some Google searches. Try to find out what are the projects they are doing. I'm sure you must be aware because you are coming from a computer science department, majority of you, so you must have talked about these things. But if you have not, please read on that. The investments of these top companies, computer related giants, Microsoft, Google, and so on, what are they doing in Africa? Because that market is, they are saying that the big startups that can come from, if you start from Africa, because of the richness of the data, and it has not been captured fully yet, because even the governments have not done data collection themselves. Most of the things you have to go to the office and fill the forms and written document and all of those things. For you guys, maybe you are just typing on the screen and staying at home. You can do many things. You don't have to go to the office. But these other countries where the thing digitization has not happened, a lot of companies are investing in those regions. So please think about that, and reflect, try to answer these questions which our friend has raised throughout the discussion. But let me just go back to the website. So as you are seeing on the screen, this is optional clip. You should look into this, and application domains for AI. You guys have given good amount of examples, but nothing is wrong in reading in looking at these clips. This guy is senior data scientist and AI advocate, IBM. So he's definitely going to give you some pointers which are worth looking at. Some other applications of AI. Essentially, what we are trying to say, we have established it already. I think that no matter which industry you are looking into, AI is going to get some type of, there will be some linkages with AI and other, not just AI, other type of 5G, for example, 3D printing, how 3D printing, link 3D printing and artificial intelligence. Yeah, amazing stuff companies are doing. Clothing industries, shop experience, retail shop experiences. But we don't want to talk about them today. Some other day I will talk about those things. So applications, please look into that. More clips are for application of AI, and then you can start thinking about what is your area of interest. Are you going to go into coding, programming, or you are going to look at psychological issues? You want to look at, you can specialize in racism, AI, racism in AI, and develop understanding of that, how to minimize racism in AI, how to minimize. What are the things you want to teach or you want to share with the people who are coding, who are writing algorithms, which they should be careful about when they are looking at, when if they want to minimize racism in AI. So that has nothing to do with coding, but you are giving them some principles which they need to keep in mind when they are, which data to put, which data not to put, which are outliers which you need to take out from the data, all of those things. Yeah, so psychology, behavioral sciences, they will come that angle. So you should start reading on those things. And even if you are coding yourself, if you have that understanding yourself, when you are looking at data and you are trying to play with unstructured data as we go towards deep learning and stuff, your work is going to stand out definitely from other people. But what is the real challenge? The real challenge with racism and these issues is that there is no consensus, and there will never be any consensus. That is never going to happen, because think about it. Even if there is no AI, no technology in the world right now, take out technology in the world right now, is there bias in the world or no? Is there racism in the world or no? Is it true that some races are superior than the others? Is it true that we like to label people like this? This is ridiculous. Chinese looking people, and we are telling them across the world that you spread coronavirus. What is that? That person has nothing to do with that. Yes. So these things we do this in all over the world. In some civilized countries, like maybe in Finland and those type of countries, maybe a little less, but these things are there. Generally speaking, all races think that they are better than the other race. A German thinks that Germans are better. An Indian thinks that Indians are better. A Jamaican thinks that Jamaicans are better. Black think that they have some characteristics there. Yeah. So in this type of world, when you are going to go in artificial intelligence, when AI is going to deduce some conclusions from the data, why AI will not be biased, why it will not be racist. Yeah. What are the things which we need to be careful about in doing this? Yeah. Especially when these things are coming from data, because in some countries data is going to show you that terrorism in that country is spread by people who are coming from Muslim origin and from these countries. I said Muslim because I am also Muslim, so I'm trying to I'm taking my own example. Yeah, I don't want to offend anyone. Yeah. So that is the data. So AI is going to read that data. Why AI would not think that Muslims of this age coming from these countries are not racist? Yeah. That is, if it is dependent on, it does not has its own way of thinking. It is dependent on data for now. But you can argue that AI has advanced also. I will show you some readings some research by MIT, which established that AI has started to read. People are, let me be careful with the choice of words because these things can get very, very tricky. AI is developing on working on reading mind. So AI companies are working how to read someone's mind without they have speaker. So how I can read Thang's mind by as I'm looking at his video right now, how I can read his mind just by using technology. How I can read what Israfil is thinking right now as his hand is like this, and what is now he did this. What does that mean? That means something. Israfil don't know that. But if you have all the data throughout his life, which was doing facial recognition, all of that data, all of that, and now AI is thinking, what were the times when Israfil did this? And what was the time when he did this? Take all of that information and take all the information, when did Israfil really smile from the heart? So now Israfil has a little smile, but is it a genuine smile or is it just a like he did the eyebrows like that? What does that really mean? Yeah. So AI is doing that. It is not 100%. It is making errors, but 65% it is correct right now as we are speaking. 60 to 65%. The technology is developed, companies are giving the information, and interviews are being corrected. 60 to 65% it is correct information. It matches with the understanding which a human being would have developed if they were doing a regular interview. It matches with that. It matches with the psychology profile of the candidate, which are done through the psychologists. So think about that. Where this is going to go. So yes, it would not happen, let's say maybe 5 years, 10 years, maybe 20 years. It might not happen. It is just there, but eventually it is going to happen. So if we start thinking about these things, protocols, stuff like that, how we want to be useful in that type of environment. Let me also add that this is an afterthought, I think, that now people are, we human beings are amazing. We can find some way out. So people are learning how to give the interview to AI, which movements to make, which eye movements to make, how to roll the eyes, how to blink them, how to do those things. Yeah, so people are doing that also. Yeah, so this is quite interesting. Please reflect on these pointers. Quite fascinating. I have added this. This is a sample presentation. You can watch it in your own time. You can click on this link, module summary. These are some of the things which you should reflect on. We spoke about some things. For example, healthcare examples we gave, financial fraud, patient diagnosis, customer service, chatbots. You saw that clip, very nice. Law enforcement, that came a couple of times, discrimination, racism, all of these things. Automation, airport security. I gave you some examples. But yes, it because there is a lot of information on the site, so it takes time to read and reflect. So in your own time, you are going to do that in the last part of this link, module summary. I have posted some links which I liked. Someone used the term it is like magic, and I agree. AI is like a magic, but this article say AI is not magic. It is time to demystify and apply. Yeah, so application is the real deal. So after the end of our week long engagement, I hope that you guys will try to apply in the field selected, in the choice of your field. You would do something in application, either through programming, coding, or something, working on that side, or coming through softer things, psychology of influence, ethical issues. The sky is the limit. But anyways, in the spirit of saving time, I'm not going to open the links and talk about these things. I'm satisfied with the type of discussion pointers you guys have made. Very nice comments. So keep those comments in mind. Look at the videos, scan through. You don't have to read the from A to Z all of the article. Just scan through them at least. At least open them, scan through them. The things you like, you read more about them. The things you are not really passionate about, you can forget about them. Follow your interest. Yeah, the idea is that you have an overall understanding of various things. You appreciate them. You appreciate both point of views. Like Thong said, that it should be step by step over a period of time. We need to and then we learn about it. And of course, anything which you learn over a period of time, that is more concrete. Overnight success is as a matter of fact, I was listening to this interview, and the guy asked the celebrity, um, we just know about you now. Seems like you had this overnight success. And the celebrity responded, I really loved that, his response. He said, yes. Uh, so the comment was that you got overnight success. And the celebrity said, yes, uh, this overnight success took 20 years. Yeah, so he has been working for last 20 years, and then he got that overnight success. So we don't want this to happen with this, because with technology, sometimes, if we are not aware of what is happening in our field, we might be surprised, and one day we say, oh, what is this? I did not knew that. I'm not prepared to take interviews with AI. They are reading my, I don't mean it, they are reading the details in my face, and how I'm going to. So you need to think about those things from now, so you don't get caught up when the things are there and you are not preparing. uh, it is just like exams. So in the semester, I don't know how you guys study, but we in Jamaica, we don't start studying from day one. Generally speaking, people would start studying in the last days or weeks or something like that. That is not a good practice, but that is how generally speaking people do here. Uh, so what I'm trying to say, there is no substitute if you have been reading throughout the semester. That in the same style, there is no substitute if you start looking at these type of stories, these type of examples. The questions which were raised in the session, I hope you made some points of the you made some notes for the questions which you liked, and I hope that you will reflect on those questions and maybe share your insight, your, because we maybe you are not able to make the comments right here. So through email or through other mediums, you can share your reflection. And but most importantly, you need to reflect on these things, and most importantly, you need to think that how you are going to prepare for that type of environment. Don't go into the discussion that when it will come and when it will not come, and it will not happen in next 10 years. And don't go into that discussion. Just prepare that if this thing happens, I am I am prepared, or I am going to be the one who will be developing these things. I will help the companies to decrease prejudice, to decrease the racism related discussion we had, to decrease ethical issues which we had. What are the things to keep in mind? Uh, so you will be you would not you want to help the companies to develop some understanding how they can minimize these errors? Yeah, why not? Sure. So for that, maybe start preparing. Yeah. As a supplementary of, and again, just for um, mm, just to see that I have not lost you. So this is the page which will open. The link is there on your OMA, my website link. So this is what it will open, and you click lectures and AI for everyone, master the basics. This is where we are. When you click this, so we have 4 modules in that, and today we are talking about what is AI application and examples of AI. So module 1. When you click this module 1, this page will open and we try to go through this page. We looked at some clips. There are so many other clips which you want to watch in your own time, and some readings you are going through that, and then as a supplementary on that page I have added this conversation, a recent conversation between these top people in their field, Jack Ma and Elon Musk. It is a little long, I think longest in the clips which I have posted. Other clips are like 5-6 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that, but this is a conversation which is around 47 minutes. So I hope that you will maybe find some time to watch it. It is pretty recent, like a year old, so it gives you some some understanding what are the things they are talking about. So I think I learned a lot when I watched this clip, although I keep on reading about these things, but still the information these people gave in terms of AI and also in terms of their business, and a lot of insight, a lot of pointers I got to think about. So I hope that you will watch this one and reflect on that. Yeah. So what please make some comments. What are the things? What is going on in your head? Make some contribution to the discussion. Anyone? If there is anything you want to highlight, please go ahead. In the chat section, please look in the chat whenever our friends are making some post. This thing Israfil has posted, I think there is also research that generates images from dreams. Yeah, so people are doing amazing things about that. This now when you will read these type of things, one thing I want you to stop doing, only one thing, that is we see something and we say that is not going to happen, that is not going to happen. AI will read dreams, that is not going to happen. AI will read your thoughts, that is not going to happen. Please don't do that. That is a request. You can decide what you want to do. In my capacity, I can just make a request to you. I'm requesting, please don't do that. I am not saying that AI will read someone's mind. I am not saying AI will read dreams. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, don't say they will not. Just that. Read on that. Go behind it. People who are working on these technologies, try to see what is happening in the field. After doing your reading, after you doing your unbiased critical thinking and overall understanding of the business environment, after that if you think that that might not happen, then it is different. But I have seen that people, and it is not about people who don't know, it is not about those people, it is about people who know. Because you guys are maybe coming from some background in computer science, you do coding, you know what is possible and what is not possible. So from that understanding, you might say, oh, AI is not going to read mine. But please understand that whatever you are doing right now in terms of coding and stuff, many of these things were not possible 5 years ago. Majority of these things were impossible 10 years ago. Impossible. Let me share something with you. These websites, these websites, we go on websites all the time, website development. So let's go back 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So you need to know the language, programming language. If you wanted to make a website, you would not be able to make a website if you don't know the language. If you don't know the language, you can't make the website. Forget it. You don't know, hire someone who knows the language. There has to be, you have to write coding. Otherwise, you can't make website. What is happening now? Do you need to know a programming language to make a website? No. Anyone, a 5-year-old can, 6-year-old can make a website, just like they are playing with the smartphones, and many times they are able to do the things which they are able to go in the folders which yeah. So HTML, for example, is the language which you use to make website. But now there are websites, templates are there. You can just go there and just create a website without having any understanding of the language, and you can run it, you can post it, you have a website. This thing was not possible in the past. Same thing, people from these top yes, Ronnie has posted WordPress. Yes, that is, I think, one of the site. You can go on WordPress and do your own thing, launch the website. Big deal. Yeah. So these things were not possible. Same way, what I'm trying to say is that the scientists are working on creating AI algorithms which people would be able to create without knowing languages. They are working on it right now as we are speaking. You can run the Google search and find out. When I'm showing the examples in the fourth week or the last session, in those I'm going to show you all these examples whichever I have been talking about. So if there is any reservation in your mind, please hold on before we close the week. Yeah. So they are, and it is not that I'm not saying that they will do it in the future. They have already had the success. So a person can do some basic AI without knowing algorithm. So you are spending all the time in, so I'm not trying to say that learning a language is not important. Of course, if you know the language, you know the language. I'm not trying to belittle anyone. As a matter of fact, I encourage that if you are into that, you should do it. Why not? But this will change. This will change, and then we can argue that oh, it will change, but you will still need some type of language. Yes, I agree. You will still need. For how long? Do you think after 10 years? After 20 years? After 50 years, do you think that AI, you don't, without any, just we use these phones. So phones, you guys were talking about phones. So phones, these type of phones, basic smartphones. Yeah. What is that? Yeah. What is that? So for example, there was a time when you could not bend the screen. But what is this? This is a phone. This is a phone. You can bend it now. What is this? This was not possible. This was possible 20 years, 30 years ago. No. So now you can argue that this is not a glass. This is plastic. That is fine. You can say that a little line is there. You can say those type of things. But think about this. This was not possible. What would be the future of television? I saw this television. It is a big screen, and it rolls and goes in the floor, and you touch a button, it rolls and goes up. What is that? You guys are aware about, you are aware about these self-driving cars. Technology is already there. Self-parking cars. BMW 7 Series already have these type of technologies. Hand gesture technologies. All of these are operated by artificial intelligence. They are already there. Yes, very expensive phones and TVs and cars. Yes, very expensive. But is the technology there or not? Yes, it is there. It is there. Do you think that the scientists who are working on these technologies, they do not have, they don't use, they have not developed these type of technologies to read someone's mind, and they don't read people's mind? Do you think that in their own, in their labs or stuff like that? Do you think that? Do you think that there is no one working on these type of working on these type of technologies? I don't know, because I don't have access to these top scientists. But I do think that this mind recognition, this the ability to, what are you thinking right now? There are some technologies which can read it, because if you are reading the literature in medicine, how AI is helping in diagnosis, there are certain things which you can put in the mind, which you can attach, and it gives you the the, in the mind, when we are happy, certain areas lit up. When we are sad, certain areas lit up, all of that. So by reading, we don't mean that it will be in a spoken word. It will be through those lit up moments. Is the person happy? Is the person sad? What is the happiness level? What are they thinking? Are they having fearful thoughts right now? Are they getting anxiety thoughts right now? That is what we mean by reading. So reading will be very different. Reading would not be like the piece of paper, some words are written and I'm reading this. Not that type of reading. AI is different type of reading. Maybe we don't even understand what type of reading that would be. Yeah. So these are some things. So what I'm trying to say is that please be open about all of this discussion. Don't say it will not happen, because in this world where we are right now, all things around us, if someone from the past comes, like 100 years old, and from 1920, if that person comes out and he comes in this world, can you imagine what is going to happen to his mind? Even simple things, simple things. Yeah. So think about these things. Quite fascinating. But anyways, any thoughts, any remarks? What do you any comments you would want to make? Any questions which you want to raise?
I would like to give an example about mind reading. So there is interesting research also on, for example, people who lost their limbs, hand, let's say, they were attached to a manipulator, so kind of looking, hand-looking robot, like a manipulator, like a hand. And first they were asked to thought that they are using the hand. Sorry, let's go back. They had hands. It doesn't matter if they have or not. They were just asked to move a hand in certain way. So they had a net on the head with the electrodes, which was reading their electric current in the brain, and this pattern was related to that certain movement. So then later on they could program the manipulator, so the mechanical hand, and program it so that when it recognized the pattern from the brain, then the hand will move exactly as the owner would like. And there are also videos on YouTube. So we can really do that already now. And I think that this question about who's going to be first will rule the 21st century is true. To me, it's like inventing an atom bomb or any kind of energy source. It doesn't have to be bomb, but it's something that you can use as a weapon or as a source of bringing energy. It's a tool, and how you use it, it's a secondary thing. But who has it? It's the who's gonna have it first, I think. So I don't think there's a question of any morality in any kind of country who has possibility to do it, because they want to be fast and first. And if they have access to big data, that's their benefit. Yeah, that's all.
Excellent point, and thanks for bringing in the terms which I was forgetting. I was referring them, but I was not using them. So, for example, big data. That is what it is all about. For example, our friend mentioned electric currents going in the brain. So that is what I was referring. So thanks, Barnes, for bringing those things in, and he has explained us that these things are already happening. These are not coming sci-fi movies and stuff like that. People are really using those, especially when I will be showing you examples. You will be surprised if you are not reading on those things, like the diagnosis in medicine, at what level it has reached, and how it. But anyways, the thing is that we are not trying to say that AI is going to overpower us, or neither we are saying that we have a plan to overpower AI. It is a combination. So there are some things which human beings can do better, and then there are other things which AI can do better. So this is a handshake between both human creativity, those type of things. Although I'm going to argue later on in some other set that AI is pretty good in creativity also. But as our friend gave the example very nicely, that he gave reference to the Go game, and then he said that AI is only, when it is good, it is only good in one domain, one aspect. So if it is good in one area, it is only good in that. It is not like human beings. We can be good in different areas, different. So AI is more of a specialized area. And then as we are going into big data debate, into the deep learning, into the earlier comment which Barnes raised, that how a child learns, eventually there is a chance that AI, the things which Elon Musk says, maybe not 100%, but there is a chance that many of those things are going to happen. But it is perfectly fine if you think none of these things are going to happen at a pace at which we are trying to establish. That is equally fine, because there are other people, other equally smart people like Elon Musk, who think that this is not how it is going to happen. It will be very gradual, step by step type of process. So both sides are very learned, both sides are very bright, both have their own point of view of thinking. You need to develop how you want to think about it. Earlier I was trying to make this comment, but something happened and I lost track of my thoughts. I was trying to say that the problem is not with the people who don't know. People who don't know about AI and technologies, they are not the problem, because they don't know, and they know that they don't know. So you tell them whatever you want to tell them. The problem is with the people who know something about coding, who have worked on these things, who have worked on AI. Because they have worked in the current environment, they have the tendency to say that, oh, this is not happening, oh, this is not happening, because they know. They think they know. So you need to be very careful about this. If you know, if in your mind, what do you think? Ask yourself, do you think you know about technologies? Of course, you would want to say that, yes, I have some understanding about that because I have been doing my bachelor's in that and master's and whatever. So I read about these things I have. So the problem is with those people. And now think about the person who has worked for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, top professor. They would really want to say that, yes, we know, and they will say, come out and say, AI won't be able to read the mind of a human being like we read. There is a tendency of making big mistakes. When that top guy is going to say that, it is going to influence you and me. Because of course, he has spent like years and years in that. He has produced some work in that. So be careful about that thought pattern. So this is the dilemma. On one side, you want to establish that you know. For example, if I am conducting this session, I want to establish that I know. if I establish that I don't know, then what is going on here? Yes. So I have to establish that I know by doing or saying some things, but I have to establish that we don't know. So this is the dilemma. So do we know or we don't know? What do we know and what we don't know? This is so what I'm trying to say is the Elixir is saying you are confusing me, of course. this is a big confusion. Yeah. This is a big confusion. Yeah. So how to rectify that confusion? Let's rectify that confusion. Yeah. So to rectify confusion is your openness. Be open to new ideas. Be open to someone who says something which you don't believe in. Be open for a little while, explore it, and then develop your own understanding on this over a period of time. As what Thang said earlier, I tend to agree with that point, that I would say that, over a period of time, if you can do that, maybe that is going to be helpful. Yes, Didi, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to add to what you said. People are asking, how do we know that we don't know? So basically, the way that I see is that the human mind is so complicated and complex that if you can't imagine it, then it can exist. So that's the way that I see it, because that's the problem with AI, because it's something that we created. So it's basically everything depends on what we as creators can imagine, and can it be done. That is basically the only way that we can do this, because I don't think that there is any limitation unless we put limitations into it. So that's the way that I pretty much see the whole concept.
Very, very nice, Didi, and you have confused me also. A while ago you were in Paris and now you are somewhere else. So how how you were able to do that very fast? So good reflection. The human mind is
It's
very
time
complex
traveling.
and time traveling. Yeah, yeah. So please reflect on these things. Essentially what I'm trying to say, that please be open to new ideas. That is how we are going to learn in this in our interaction. Many times people are going to say something which you don't believe in. That is fine, and that is how we should discuss. We should give our point of view, and as years come by, we will understand that what is what. Okay, so when you are going to go, I hope you got a chance to go on your OMA of your university, and I'm sure you did that, because the link to join was in that. So you are here, so you must have seen that. Um so please find some time to read that. Find some time to